Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rose and I am going to explain how to use the budget template that I posted on Edmodo. So here it is. It's in the comment section of the very last Zoom meeting invitation. So if you go to budget template, click on that and you're going to edit the workbook. So this is called a 50, 30, 20 budget, and it's segregated into three categories: your needs, your wants, and savings. So once you've the first step is to figure out how much money do you have to spend. So let's say you have a part-time job and every month you make, let's say, $800.23. So you're gonna put your the amount of money you make into this box, into G2. So that's your monthly income. So now what you're gonna do is we're gonna calculate how much money do you spend on your needs. Well, 50% should be spent on needs. So to figure out that, you'd put equals 0.5 times, which is the little asterisk, and then you click on the monthly income and you get $400.12. So that's how much money you have to spend on needs like rent and groceries and other things like that. Once, that should be 30% of your budget. So we're going to do equals 0.3 asterisk and times your monthly income there and hit enter, and you get something like $240.07. For savings, that's going to be 20% of your budget. So equals 0.2 times $800.23 is $160.05. So this is how your budget is going to be separated into needs, wants, and savings. There's other budgets where you can have more detailed categories, but this is the most basic one, and it's a good way to learn how to use the spreadsheet. If you want to add more specific categories, you could just insert a column, and then maybe you wanted to add something for video games. I don't know. If you wanted to be more specific, you could do that. So I'm going to get rid of this column here and just go with the three: needs, wants, and savings. So now an example of a need is rent. And say you found a place real cheap for $200. You could put $200 there and see how it automatically calculates the total amount of needs. So some other needs are like groceries, and that could be like maybe you don't eat very much, maybe you only spend $100 on groceries. So now you're up to $300. And let's say another thing is utilities. So like electric and water. So say you spend about $75 on that. So there you go. You've put in three things for your needs, and the total comes out to $375. I got that $375 by just putting equals sum, parentheses, and then dragging that all the way down, just like that. So now we can see that we haven't spent our $400 yet. So how much do we have remaining? So to get that column, we would put equals, and then you take the $400 minus the $375. So we still have $25.12 to spend this month. So what percent have we spent so far? So with percentages, that's going to be the small part over the big part. So we're going to put in equals like always, and then we've spent 375, and we divide it by the total we have, the 400, and you hit enter, and it already formats it as a percentage. If it doesn't do that for you, you could you click on this cell, and then there's a percentage button right here, and that'll format it as a percentage. So now let's move on to the next column, wants. Some examples of wants are eating out at Wendy's, or video games, or any kind of leisurely activities you might pursue. So let's say for this month you spent $50 on a video game, and then let's also say you went to Wendy's maybe a few times and spent about $80 there. And whatever it is you guys do, let's say you went fishing, you had to spend money on some new fishing poles and bait, and let's say you spent $50 there. And as you can see, we are getting closer and closer to our allotted amount of 240 for the month. So how much do we have remaining? Well, you don't have to enter in the equation again. What you can do is select this cell and just drag it to the next cell, and you can see that we have $60 remaining. So what happens if, like, I decided to go to a concert? Whoops. And I spent $80. Whoops. Well, now I've gone over my budget, and I have a negative sign now. And that means that I need to probably rethink my spending habits, and maybe spend less money on fishing gear, so maybe just $30, and then that would balance my budget. So, and let's go ahead and drag this column, this cell over to see how much I've spent percentage wise. And then for savings and investings, well, this is just a good idea to always put aside some money, and you're doing really good if you could save 20% of your monthly income. And that could be in just a savings account, or it could be in a investment vehicle like a Roth IRA or a mutual fund. So let's say we put in about $100 in a savings account every month, which would be pretty cool because at the end of the year you'd have $1,200. And if you just kept on doing that throughout your say for a whole decade, so throughout your 20s, you'd have 1,200 times 10, which is what, $12,000 by the time you're 30, which is pretty neat. So let's insert a row here, so you can do that, and let's put, say, something like mutual fund, and you can just search online and buy one of these mutual funds, and every month you could say I put $60.05 in, and that way I have all of my savings accounted for, and I can move these two cells over. So there you go. I have $0 remaining to save, and then I've saved 100% of what I said I would. And there you go. So that's the basics of this budget. If you want to add more rows, you just right click on the side over here, and you could add rows, insert rows, and they add them above. So if you wanted to add them down here, you could insert rows down here, and we need to put the borders. So there you go. So if you want to use this budget, it's smart to make sure you put every dollar you spend here. So like once you start spending money, if you keep track of it, you'll notice that you spend less of it and you make better decisions. And then at the end of the month, you have more left over to save and invest. And there you go. That's how you use this budget template.